Welcome to the Zentangle Project Pack series. This lesson is part of Project Pack 04. My name is Rick.
Hey, I'm Maria, and Project Pack 4 is designed around a specific project we're calling the Zentangle Spinner.
Today is the fourth day in the series, but you can watch these out of order and it all comes together in the end.
Okay, I am starting out with a tangle called Static, which was one of our really first tangles. And it was just, you put down a zigzag line through probably the widest part of your section. And then it's aura, 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 aura. Aura from one side all the way to the edge, and then flipping it over and doing the same thing on the other side. Real simple, real effective.
And one of the reasons you flip it over is it's easier to follow the pattern that you're auraing if your pen isn't covering it. So it would be to the left if you're right-handed and to the right if you're left-handed.
So it's an easy pattern, and you can see that it doesn't take very long. And it's very cool. I think so.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next pattern is called Mulligan, and this is a great tangle. It's a little bit, there's some tricks to it. And the first trick is when you aura that first mulligan shape, you go about 3/4 of the way instead of all the way. That way your mulligans stay about the same size, and unless you want them to get really big. So then you can go and add mulligans on the other side. This works. It works pretty simply. You can see at that 3/4 point.
And you can make them go in any direction. You can change the size. You can make them come off another side. You can use it to fill it in, just like she did there.
That's cool. Now, what are we going to put inside of these mulligans, right? So you fill them just like
Well,
Tripoli.
yeah. So Maria's just auraing the inside of these, like she did. If you remember how she did the inside of floors, for instance.
Right.
And then once she gets them all auraed, well, maybe she'll put something else inside. And sure enough.
There you go. Oh, so I'm going to put sort of a perk type thing in there. It's kind of fun.
And we had a question, or we often get a question, well, what about teaching for people who are left-handed? And we came up with this idea that since there's no up or down or left or right in Zentangle, that if you're left-handed, just put your computer or a phone or a tablet next to a mirror and watch it in the mirror, and anybody who's drawing with their right hand is now drawing with their left hand. And
it works perfectly.
And it works perfectly.
Perfectly. So just get a good-sized mirror so that that's what you're looking at.
Because there really is no left or right.
So the next pattern, the tangle, is called Noom, N-O-O-M. The whole name is Noom Repus, and it was named after the supermoon, which is Noom Repus spelled backwards. And it's a great border tangle, but also once you start putting them together, it becomes a regular tangle too. But we start with these S shapes that are sort of next to each other, and then combining. You can see what I'm combining the lines, and right up to that point where you can see how it's almost going to the edge.
Right, it's sort of pointing to the edge of the end of the other S there.
Right.
So once you've done it in that direction, now turn the tile around.
So you're putting together sort of a leaf shape, and so you can see where you hit that same spot where they come together. See, yeah, right there. That's where you want to come, and That's the key in this particular tangle.
So the reason it was called Num Repus, as Maria said, for supermoon, is that we introduced this tangle at a reunion of Zentangle teachers, of CZTs, and it happened to be on the day of the supermoon that this was introduced, and we had everybody offer their ideas of what the name should be, and that was the one that was chosen.
That was 2016
Yeah.
at Zen Again, the first Zen Again.
So again, that coloring the background really brings forward that. It's a great contrast.
So this is the one that brings it all together. So you can see there's this opposite S shape that's combining those middle lines that just seem to be hanging there. And it makes like a chain effect that's totally unexpected. That's kind of the key to it there.
And like they're weaving in and out of each other in a sort of quasi-impossible way.
You have to look this one up because this is really worth pursuing. And then we're just connecting them.
And you can see lots of examples of what people have done on the app. So if you download the Zentangle Mosaic, which is on iPhone and Android, and for free you can search, just search Num Repus or search any of the tangles we're doing, and you can see what people all over the world have done.
This next tangle is called Umble, U-M-B-L-E. And I remember seeing this in a magazine, and it was a pattern that was on, I don't know, in a fashion magazine, on a
It was on a
blouse,
dress. I think
dress or a
we
blouse.
cut it out, and it's in one of our
Yeah.
catalogs.
And it was just the coolest thing. I thought it was sort of bold and, cool.
And also it is it reinforces our whole approach with aura, which we're doing now, and then you'll see how we incorporate it with Hollowball.
So I started out by putting these curved lines on the corners, and now we're oring around them to give them a shape. So now that's going to be our shape that we're going to reproduce over and over. So now we're going from corner to corner and making that same type of line.
And then drawing behind. And then
Drawing behind.
making that first basic shape. And then go back and aura that little bit of aura sets it off, and it really makes a difference and adds a lot of interest. The different widths of aura-ing becomes part of the pattern.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to turn our tile and do that again. Corner to corner.
Right. And so now I'm going to add another one.
We're going to aura that first set of corner lines that we did. Making them a little narrower to give it the illusion of that it's going down deep into the paper. It's a really cool tangle. It's like a spider web.
So real sense of depth there. Very sweet.
And the last tangle on this wedge is going to be my muka. I have to have muka. And we're just going to do some simple ones, not too complicated.
This, I think, is one of your go-to tangles,
It's one
right?
of my always go-to tangles. So I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite corner here. And I like to have my mukas sort of slightly kissing. You can see where they they come together and just sort of just touch, so that it sort of has a support system. It's kind of cool.
Right.
Here we go, just touching. Flip it over, do the same. Or almost the same, not exactly the same.
But I love that approach of how you do yours. Very different. So the whole principle of muka are those little tendrils at the end. Everybody has their own style, and the idea is not that your muka should look just like Maria's or anybody else's, but that you can use that approach to develop your own style and see where that goes the more you do it.
So I'm basically doing the same thing from each corner, but it doesn't really look like it. It just looks pretty.
Awesome.
Looks like I'm going to just aura in the middle there.
Yeah, so that's an approach on muka and many tangles is just to add that extra
But the
bit.
reason I can aura is because I made these sections by the kissing mukas.
And there's enough white space in there to fit it in as well. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've gotten down all. Oh no, there's another. There's another. Great. Okay. There we go with the ink. It's time for some graphite.
So on the static, I'm just going to go below where the lines, the corners sort of meet. It almost begs for that kind of shades right there.
So you like all of the lines that are going in one direction. So she's putting graphite on one set of lines. The idea to do like a hill and vale, so like valleys, and give that idea of the sun rising and hitting one side of the hill. And smooth that in with a tortillon.
On the Mollygon here, it looks like I'm going to just add a little bit of graphite inside where the perk is, that perk part, those little smiles. And then again, where the Mollygons all meet, you can sort of see little places that seem to be begging for that to get a little drama.
I like how you left the center circle on many of them open. So that's the whole idea of adding shades of gray, is to leave that range of
Right.
white to dark.
And I'm going to do the edges because I think it would kind of tidy it up.
And then that pushes up the borders on either side.
So you may have noticed the numbers and letters on the spinner. We put those in there to add more information if you ever want to spin for other reasons, numbers or letters, or have other things that you're spinning for. So that gives the spinner more value, I
Yeah.
think.
So I like what you're doing here is just
The little
doing the
yeah,
alternate,
alternate. That kind of cool, huh?
like these interlocking yin-yang circles almost. It's
Yeah.
pretty sweet. Very cool.
On the umbo, we're just going to focus on keeping the first bands pretty open, and then starting to add shades as they get deeper and deeper.
Yeah, you can already see the
Yeah.
emphasizing the over and under. This is a great tangle to shade because the elements are large enough to be discrete, and then the tortillon just works its magic.
Even just with just that little bit, you can see how it goes down deep. Cool.
Look at that. I love that. Wow. Yeah, it'll be fun just to, rewind and go back and see what it looks like before and after shading, just to give you an example of the impact.
Oh, that's kind of cool. We're just going to add some gray into the aura parts and let the mucas stand on them on their own. We're working with especially small sections, so we can't get into a lot of heavy shading details.
But this is a great idea that you don't have to, it's just another way of using elements of the tangle to add graphite and contrast.
Little C shapes just to announce.
Yeah, how round those must be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the tortillon magic comes in.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for tangling with us.
And we've got another wedge down, and we're going to, we have a few more to do, so we look forward to seeing you tomorrow or whenever you view these, and we look forward to seeing yours. So have a great time, and thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye now.